Mohammed Nasrallah, and then on deck is Joshu Urino. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Crystal No, Greg Nazor, and Alexander Spike. Y'all are on deck. So with that, Gabrielle, you are recognized.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Chairman Birdwell, Dean Zaffarini, and esteemed committee members. My name is Gabriella Perticchizzi, and I am the Vice President of Policy at the Texas Association of Business. Thank you for holding this important hearing and for the opportunity to present my testimony today. I'm here on behalf of our members and the broader Texas business community to discuss the impact of federal interference on the Texas economy. Specifically, my remarks will address restrictions on LNG exports, air emission provisions, and supply chain limitations. Our state is internationally recognized as a leader in energy production, particularly in the liquefied natural gas or LNG sector. Recent federal restrictions on LNG exports constitute a substantial threat to the Texas economy. These restrictions have the potential to drastically diminish revenue and inhibit job creation within one of our most critical industries. As this committee knows very well, policy matters. We must pursue policies that foster energy independence and oppose excessively burdensome regulations, such as the recent pause on pending LNG export applications by the U.S. Department of Energy. To be clear, this move is nothing less than a direct hit on the Texas economy. We appreciate this committee's acknowledgement of the significance of this issue and the work that is already being done to address this matter. Stringent federal air emission regulations present another challenge for Texas businesses. These burdensome provisions increase operational costs and pose the risk of driving businesses out of our state. Texas is proud to be the premier destination for corporate relocations and expansions, as well as for foreign direct investment. However, more stringent standards could deter both large corporations and small businesses from establishing themselves in our state. For instance, new manufacturing facilities or expansions cannot be developed in areas of non-attainment, nor can new infrastructure projects be developed, such as needed bridges or roads. The tightening of these standards threatens our ability to secure our supply chain and hampers our capacity to meet the growing demands for domestic manufacturing. This is a step in the wrong direction if Texas is to continue its remarkable growth trajectory. Supply chain limitations have also posed a challenge for Texas businesses over the years. Overburdensome federal regulations significantly exacerbate these disruptions, and our state is disproportionately affected as we are at the center of North American trade due to our proximity to Mexico. These limitations lead to increased costs and reduced competitiveness across the board. To address these issues, Texas should advocate for regulatory flexibility and foster innovation in emission reduction strategies. Such an approach would enable businesses to adapt without compromising economic growth. In conclusion, we advocate for smart regulations that provide certainty without burdening business owners and job creators with high compliance costs. Overly burdensome regulations have a ripple effect throughout each industry's ecosystem and every community in our state. By fostering innovation and promoting common sense, business-friendly policies, Texas can mitigate the negative impacts of federal interference and maintain its position of global leadership. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Gabriella. Jennifer, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chair Birdwell and Senators, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak today. My name is Jennifer Hedaya. I'm the Executive Director of Air Alliance Houston. We are the longest running nonprofit community-based organization in the Houston area focused solely on clean air. I'm also a Houston native, and 3 generations of my family have worked at the Houston Ship Channel or at the oil and gas facilities that it supports. I have also worked my entire career in the field of public health. So I come to you today as someone who loves her city, loves her family, and has decades of study and expertise in what it takes to keep people healthy. And I will tell you that one of the most impactful interventions in population health is to ensure people can breathe clean air every day, everywhere. Unfortunately, we have our work cut out for us in this area. Houston may be the energy capital of the world, but according to multiple objective sources, we are also one of the most polluted. We have over 500 polluting facilities in the Houston area alone, which together emit more millions of pounds of air pollution every year than New York, LA, or Chicago. According to the TCEQ, Houston had 53 high ozone days in 2023 alone. We are having a red level ozone day today. According to a study of real estate trends of all things, Houston also ranked as the dirtiest city in America due to high levels of pollution. Being a dirty, polluted city doesn't make us healthy, happy, or support economic growth. The rules and standards issued this year by the EPA are protective of public health and, I would argue, economic growth as well. For example, as we heard from Senator Alvarado, thank you, that strengthening the PM standard will not only prevent premature deaths, but will also save 300 lost work days and $46 billion healthcare dollars annually. In Houston, our soot pollution comes primarily from industry and cars, not dust storms or wildfires. Another example is the new risk management plan rule preventing chemical accidents. This rule would have prevented the 2019 explosion of TPC Group in Port Neches, which cost $150 million in damages and led them to file bankruptcy. There are real benefits to these new rules. Pitting air quality against economic development is a false dichotomy. Instead, clean air supports strong economies through healthier workers and more thriving cities. Moreover, many of the witnesses you heard from earlier today are also directly benefiting from those federal investments. You already heard about CCUS investments from the DOE. TCEQ is also receiving a carbon pollution reduction grant right now from the EPA. So in conclusion, we do not believe these new rules are federal overreach when they will so clearly protect human health as well as produce economic benefits for cities like mine. In lieu of this charge and spending time and effort resisting these rules, I recommend you study the extent to which lowering soot and carbon pollution and preventing chemical accidents will benefit health and economic growth in our state. I think you will find that resisting, slowing, or circumventing those benefits is the true harm to Texas. Thank you.
Thank you. Ruth, you are recognized. Please state your name and who you represent.
Yes,
The floor is yours.
sure. Good afternoon, Chairman Birdwell and committee members. My name is Ruth Nasrullah. I live in the Clear Lake area of Houston, and I'm here today to express my support for air quality regulations. I am a member of Amnesty International's Bay Area Houston chapter, and both of those facts are reasons why I'm here today. I moved to Houston 20 years ago and very quickly developed respiratory symptoms that turned out to be allergies. First time in my life, despite the fact that I grew up in New Jersey during a time it was so polluted that the waterways regularly caught fire. But it wasn't until I moved to Houston that I had symptoms of that sort. And my doctor said that it was because of pollution as a primary reason. And living so close to the petrochemical plants in Baytown, Deer Park, and LaPorte just increases the risk of respiratory problems. As I mentioned, I'm a member of Amnesty International, a human rights organization that believes that access to a clean environment is a human right, and I agree with that. Moreover, it is government's job to uphold and maintain those rights, and to care for the people, and to be concerned with our welfare and secure our rights as members of the American public. Oil and gas companies don't have more rights than we do. Many of my neighbors and my family are personally impacted by pollution in Houston, by the air quality, and I urge the committee not to propose rollbacks to EPA air quality regulation standards. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ruth. Mohammed, you're recognized.
Well, good afternoon, Chairman and committee members. My name is Mohammed Nasrullah. I am a long-time Clear Lake resident, and I'm the co-founder and current president of Amnesty International of the Bay Area Houston chapter. I'm here to share my story and express my support for maintaining strong federal air quality regulations. I strongly believe that access to clean, unpolluted air is a human right. Me and my family have lived in the Clear Lake area since 1995. And over those years, almost 30 years, we have been exposed to polluted air in a very regular basis. Every week, the air smells of chemicals, gasoline, even hydrogen sulfide, which really stinks. Every time there is an accident or a fire in one of these many chemical plants that are just adjacent to where we live, the air quality is so bad that it causes our eyes to sting and get watery, and we are forced to stay indoors. As Jennifer mentioned, Houston leads the nation in air pollution, with neighborhoods like Baytown, Deer Park, and LaPorte having elevated cancer rates. The updated national emission standards for hazardous air pollutants issued by the EPA this year will significantly reduce toxic emissions. We need these federal regulations to keep our air clean and our communities safe. I strongly urge the committee not to propose rollbacks to the EPA air quality protections. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak here today.
Thank you, Mohammed. Members, questions of the panel? Senator Alvarado, you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wanted to welcome folks from Houston. And Jennifer, we've worked with the Air Alliance on many things, particularly concrete batch plants. Sorry, surprise, shocking, right? And we have more work to do, and we might be getting support from higher ups on this effort too. So we welcome that. You talked, I think you mentioned something about the public health benefits of the revised PM standard. Do you want to expand on that a little bit? I mentioned it also in my question to the TCEQ about the 4,500 premature deaths avoided. Is there something you wanted to add to that?
I think I would add why particulate matter is so concerning from a public health perspective. So particulate matter 2.5, which is what the standard is about, is microscopic, smaller than a piece of human hair. It's dust, it's soot, it's silica, it's the things that are blown off of facilities like concrete batch plants, but also larger industrial facilities as well, many of which are located in the same communities in the Houston area. When you breathe in PM 2.5, it's so small that it passes through into organs. It passes through your blood vessels. It attaches to the vital functions of your body, and it can trigger negative impacts to all those vital functions. And this is such a proven correlation that the Houston Independent School District will issue an alert to school nurses on a Monday where there is a high particulate matter day, warning them, letting them know that by Thursday you will see your asthmatic students coming into your office with asthma attacks. It is that predictive. The same predictive relationship between PM 2.5 and cardiac events happens community-wide. EMTs, hospitals will report a high PM day occurs, for the sake of argument, on a Monday. They will see more cardiac arrests on a Thursday. It is one of the most impactful pollutants to be breathing in acutely, meaning perhaps you drove or live near a concrete batch plant that had a large dust storm, or routinely because you're breathing it in all the time because you happen to live in a community with 9 concrete batch plants, and that does describe one of our communities in Houston with 9 of them, and I think a 3-mile radius. So PM 2.5 affects almost every system of the body. There is new research that is linking exposure to PM 2.5 to more severe menopause symptoms for people with reproductive systems. They're linking it to accelerations of dementia, Alzheimer's, and other diseases of aging. There's also a relationship between PM 2.5 and social concerns. Studies have shown that when PM 2.5 levels are higher, concerns like crime go up, and that has an impact on our societal concerns around safety and security. So it truly is one of the most impactful air pollutants. I am thrilled that our Lieutenant Governor had put a call out to say, let's put a pause on some of these types of permits. The type of permit he specifically referenced is for cement kilns. Cement kilns are located all over the state. Those are one type of aggregate producers that make PM 2.5. In Houston, we have more of the other kinds of aggregate producers like the concrete batch plants, but also the rock crushers, the asphalt plants, hot mix asphalt, cold asphalt, all of those have an impact on the PM 2.5 levels. So that's one of the reasons it's so meaningful that the EPA decided. We have for too long allowed a level of PM 2.5 at 12 micrograms per cubic meter, which is not fully protective of public health, and reduced it to 9 That's not even to the level that experts globally say we should be breathing. The World Health Organization says that 9 is still too high and that will still produce health problems. But getting 12 to 9 will have an improvement. Globally, the effort would have been lower and we would have saved more lives. But that's why PM 2.5 is so impactful. That's what it does to us. And that's why this new standard will keep people healthier.
Okay, all right, thank you. Members, any other questions of the panel? All right, thank y'all for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chair calls Josie Urino, Crystal No, Craig Nazer,